Welcome to the Horizon Audiofiles, a podcast of the Defense Horizon Journal. The Defense Horizon Journal is a professional and academic journal that features essays, reports, and analyses covering geopolitics and law, security and defense policy, peace and conflict studies, applied military science, as well as developments in weapons technology. For more information, go to www.tdhj.org.
Episode number 69. Cybersecurity, Ethical Governance, and the Risks of AI Integration in Countering Hybrid Threats. By Carmen Marsh. The Future of Defense. The future of defense is no longer defined solely by weapons or borders, instead it is defined by cognition. Hybrid threats today target not only the integrity of systems but the perception and decision-making of the human mind itself. The convergence of artificial intelligence, AI, cybersecurity, and ethical governance is transforming both the nature of risk and the strategies required to mitigate it. Recent academic research, including NATO's ACT conceptual analysis, has firmly established that the future of defense is not limited to weapons or borders, but is increasingly defined by cognition, the deliberate targeting and manipulation of human perception, decision-making, and group attitudes, as a strategic domain of conflict. As outlined in the landmark study, Cognitive Warfare, a conceptual analysis of the NATO ACT cognitive warfare exploratory concept, cognitive warfare leverages both traditional and emerging technologies to disrupt, influence, or modify how individuals and societies think and act, making the human mind itself a central battleground alongside conventional and cyber domains. As AI becomes the nervous system of modern defense, safeguarding the mind has become as critical as protecting the machine. AI integration and risk management. AI is amplifying the speed, scale, and subtlety of hybrid threats. According to the NIST AI risk management framework, organizations must establish precise mechanisms for transparency, accountability, and continuous assessment. In a landscape where interconnected systems multiply vulnerabilities, these governance pillars are not optional, they are existential. The World Economic Forum's 2025 report on AI threats and cybercrime highlights that autonomous AI agents and deepfakes have reached a point of weaponized sophistication. Automated social engineering and synthetic identities exploit both technology and trust, blurring the boundary between human and machine deception. Defenders must now deploy AI-driven countermeasures with precision and ethics, balancing scarce resources against increasingly intelligent adversaries. Similarly, the 2025 Hybrid Cloud Security Survey by Gigamorn reports that CISOs face doubled network traffic, expanding AI-driven attack surfaces, and escalating threats to large language models. Half of all respondents cited public cloud infrastructures as their greatest concern, underscoring the urgent need for deep observability and hybrid resilience strategies. Ethical governance and responsible AI. Ethical governance is no longer an academic discussion, but it is a defense imperative. The UNESCO Ethics of Artificial Intelligence framework establishes universal standards for transparency, fairness, and human rights. These principles ensure that AI technologies, particularly in hybrid warfare contexts, do not inadvertently reinforce systemic biases or violate civil liberties. Consortium's AI governance, risk and compliance research identifies bias, privacy violations, and supply chain threats as 3 of the 7 critical risk domains that require oversight. Meanwhile, NAVEX highlights that continuous fairness audits and regulatory monitoring are essential for preventing AI hallucinations, compliance breaches, and data misuse. Ethical governance serves as the bedrock of credible and sustainable innovation because it establishes clear standards for responsibly developing and deploying technology, especially in defense and AI. For example, UNESCO's Ethics of Artificial Intelligence framework defines universal principles for transparency, fairness, and human rights, ensuring that AI does not perpetuate biases or violate civil liberties in defense applications. Without such moral direction, even advanced technologies like autonomous defense drones or AI-driven surveillance run the risk of misuse, leading to harmful consequences such as unjust targeting, privacy violations, or loss of public trust. In practice, organizations that implement continuous fairness audits and regulatory oversight, as recommended in NAVEX and Consortium's research, are able to prevent AI hallucinations, compliance breaches, and data misuse, thereby turning ethical governance into an enabler rather than a barrier for trust and innovation in national security systems. In short, ethical governance is not a constraint on innovation, it is the foundation of credible, sustainable innovation. Without moral direction, even the most advanced defenses become liabilities. Cognitive encryption, the next frontier in security. As hybrid threats evolve, the protection methods employed by governments, organizations, technology developers, and cybersecurity professionals must also advance. Cognitive encryption represents an emerging paradigm that secures not just the transmission of data but also the integrity of how information is interpreted. This advanced technique embeds context-aware algorithms into communication systems, preventing malicious reinterpretation or psychological manipulation. The next generation of this innovation introduces self-encrypting and self-decrypting systems, which are intelligent security layers that autonomously protect and restore their own integrity in real time. Much like self-healing endpoints, these adaptive systems continuously assess environmental risks and re-encrypt or decrypt sensitive data only when trust conditions are met. By dynamically reconfiguring cryptographic states based on contextual awareness, security becomes both active and self-sustaining. Cognitive security, powered by self-learning AI, extends this protection into the perceptual domain. It detects narrative manipulation, propaganda, and misinformation before they distort human judgment. Its mission is deeply human, to protect the freedom to think clearly in the fog of disinformation. Enhancing cybersecurity with cognitive intelligence. Cognitive intelligence systems enhance cybersecurity by continuously learning from new data, reasoning through complex situations, and adapting their responses to evolving threats. These systems use models of human decision-making to anticipate potential risks and deploy precise, proactive defenses based on the specific context of each threat. For example, by understanding patterns of normal and abnormal user behavior, cognitive intelligence systems can distinguish genuine security incidents from false alarms, thereby reducing false positives. When a legitimate threat is detected, these systems quickly prioritize and guide incident response, accelerating containment and mitigation. Additionally, they support collaboration between human analysts and machine intelligence by providing trustworthy insights and recommendations, strengthening overall decision-making. In military and strategic environments, cognitive intelligence acts as a neural shield, fostering resilience against manipulation and enabling rapid, accurate defense against both cyber and cognitive attacks. Integrating cognitive encryption into existing frameworks. Embedding cognitive encryption into national and organizational infrastructures requires both technical and ethical foresight. Integrate cognitive encryption into messaging, video conferencing, and collaboration tools to safeguard both data and context. Develop endpoint tools capable of authenticating intent, not just source and integrity. Deploy AI-driven filters to detect and neutralize deepfakes and narrative manipulation at the network edge, and align all practices with NIST and UNESCO frameworks to maintain coherence across technical and moral dimensions. Emerging technologies for cognitive threat prevention. A new generation of tools is redefining the defense perimeter. Cognitive cybersecurity platforms counter both digital and psychological intrusions in real time. Neurotechnology safeguards ensure the privacy of personal neurodata against interference and manipulation. Hybrid cryptographic frameworks combine ECC and AES for context-sensitive data exchange, and behavioral analytics link user actions to intent, exposing manipulation attempts early in the attack cycle. Building cognitive resilience, practical recommendations. Security must evolve from reaction to reflection. The following principles define resilient organizations. Train all users to detect manipulation, deepfakes, emotional triggers, and urgency cues. Implement layered controls to verify both data and intent. Foster a culture of critical thinking, empowerment over punishment, and secure behavior. Continuously validate AI outputs through both automation and human oversight, and prioritize cloud and hybrid environments for context-aware observability. Conclusion. The wars of the future will not be fought solely in cyberspace or on physical battlefields, but in the space between perception and reality. Cognitive encryption, ethical governance, and responsible AI are not abstract ideals but operational necessities for nations that wish to remain secure and sovereign in the age of intelligent systems. In this convergence of technology and humanity, our greatest defense is neither code nor weapon, but conscience. Author, Carmen Marsh, Cybersecurity, Quantum Computing, artificial intelligence, psychology, societal well-being, mindful leadership, information technology, computer science and engineering. Past articles, https www.cybersecurity.com articles unleashing the power unveiling the risks of using ChatGPT-UTM_campaign equals article CM and UTM_source equals LinkedIn and UTM_medium equals social. https://thecyberexpress.com massive UAE cyber attack blocked. https://www.cybersecurity.net/CSMAG/cyber-in-hybrid-threats-acute-and-present-danger-to-our-society. The views contained in this article are the authors alone and do not represent the views of United Cybersecurity Alliance.
This was the Horizon Audiofiles, a podcast of the Defense Horizon Journal. For more information, go to www.tdhj.org. Thank you for listening.